Morning!
It's time to wake up. It's
Next
5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
We're back. Hope you all had a lovely weekend. It was beautiful yesterday in the Bay Area. Sun was out. It was shining. The NFL draft came to a conclusion. The Giants, they just keep winning series. That's 2 in a row now. Don't let them get hot. Do not let the Giants get hot right now. Mike Yastrzemski, big home run. Tayo Estrada helping my fantasy team out. Needed that, although it took another L this week. It's not looking good. I already went on my rant about joining a league that is weekly set, starting every Monday at like 10 o'clock. What a joke. Anyways, we're not going to dive into that today. What we are going to dive into is the aftermath of said NFL draft. What do we think of the Niners, what they did, and what they didn't do? They did not ship off Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel. Now we'll wait and see what happens this offseason in regards to contract talks with Brandon Ayuk. Is he going to play on that 5th year? A lot to still hash out here in regards to Brandon Ayuk's future with the red and gold. But as it stands today, they got Ricky Pearsall in that first round out of Florida, wide receiver. Does a lot of the things that Brandon Ayuk does, maybe, just maybe, with a little bit more explosion. Guy makes one-handed catches. He contests. This guy high points the ball. For a guy that's considered kind of undersized in Pearsall, he's what, 6 foot, 6'1"? Not the biggest guy, but man, he shows no fear in the middle of that field. And in a Shanahan offense, and you're attacking that middle of the field, you're going to get popped every now and then. And the guy doesn't have alligator arms. I'll say that. At least in college. Pros, we'll wait and see. Again, with all these draft picks, we'll wait and see. The whole grading system, I think, is a joke, and I actually love what Dibbs does every single year. He calls every single draft for every team a C+. Because no one knows. Like, you're kidding yourselves if you do. The Mel Kipers don't know. The Todd McShays don't know. The Daniel Jeremiahs don't know. They can discuss value in the draft. Sure. This person was ranked there, this person, but that's all pertaining, again, to their quote-unquote big board and where they feel that these players should be selected. But for the 49ers, it's as follows. First round, Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver, Florida. Second round, Renardo Green, cornerback, Florida State. Third round, Dominic, I don't want to offend anyone here. Is it Pooney or Puny? I think it's Pooney. Polynesian College Football Player of the Year, finalist last year. So Dominic Pooney, offensive lineman, third round, Kansas. Fourth round, Malik Mustafa, safety out of Wake Forest. Okay. Fourth round again, Isaac Guerendo. Got it. Hey. Guys striving for excellence here. Guerendo. There we go. We got to sound through it. That's like 12 years of Spanish-speaking classes right there. All right. Isaac Guerendo. My Spanish speakers out there, let me know. 888-957-9570. You can weigh in on that number, call or text the Xfinity mobile text line, and also hit us up on Twitch or YouTube. We're streaming all day long, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. through 7 p.m. right here on 95.7 The Game. Action-packed day here on The Game, starting at 7:30 with our very own Brian Baldinger, who I see on my screen right now for NFL Network, former NFL offensive lineman, our 95.7 The Game NFL 49ers insider, Brian Baldinger, 7:30, joining the morning roast. He's going to be here for an hour. Yeah, breaking down all things NFL draft. And yes, I'm sure they'll have some national questions for them. He called the Atlanta Falcons sniffing around for a quarterback. Baldy knew that. They're calling it the poolside premonition. I kind of love that, actually. So Baldy will join us 7:30, breaking down all these picks. So Isaac Guerendo, running back out of Louisville in the 4th round. Then another 4th round pick. Sensing a theme here. 3 4th round picks for the 49ers. Jacob Cowing, wide receiver out of Arizona. Jarrett Kingston, offensive lineman in the 6th round out of USC. And then we start getting to the 7th rounders. Tatum Bethune, linebacker out of Florida State. And there you go. That is your 2024 NFL draft for the San Francisco 49ers. What do you love? What do you hate? I'm not giving you a grade because I don't know what these guys are going to turn out to be. You know, I'd like to think that my guy, Isaac Guerendo, will do something for the 49ers, but I thought that about Ty Davis Price. I thought that about, I don't know, every running back basically outside of Christian McCaffrey that Kyle Shanahan has drafted. Now Elijah Mitchell has worked out. Was he even drafted? Was he an undrafted? I don't even know. Like, Kyle Shanahan is so hard to please with some of these picks. He has a standard of excellence, and so do the San Francisco 49ers. And it's going to be hard for some of these guys to, and yes, Elijah Mitchell was a 6th round pick. There you go. It's going to be hard for some of these guys to break into a championship ready roster. It is. But if you do, if you come prepared and you do the right things and you show up early, stay later, those things matters come training camp. Same goes for the undrafted guys too. Kyle Shanahan has always been fair when it comes to his squad. When it comes to, earning something. You have to go out there and earn it. They're not just because you were drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round. Great. Danny Gray. Yeah. Drake Jackson. Okay. Let's see it. Right? So, if you can produce, you will get on the field. Kyle Shanahan has shown that. 888-957-9570. Good morning to all you lovely people. Just getting off work, getting ready for work, getting ready for school. Hope you all had a lovely weekend. If you're watching some NBA basketball, well, we have our first team eliminated and our first team advancing in this first round of the NBA playoffs. See you later, Phoenix Suns. Yikes. Did I read that right last night? They don't have like a 1st round pick for like 5 straight years or something ridiculous? That can't be true. Did they really get rid of all of their draft capital in the next 3, 5? Like, what? How? Oh, I'll tell you how. You make trades for Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. And then you try to do the mercenary team, the super team, and it didn't work. Your number one is not a number one anymore in Kevin Durant. A guy you thought could be a number one in Devin Booker, I don't think is. And Bradley Beal, well, maybe we overrated him. Good player coming on a bad team in Washington. Little older, injury concerns. And this is the first time in his career he's had legit expectations outside of maybe a run with John Wall back in the day with Washington. But even then, he wasn't playing with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. And then you see the owner yesterday, courtside in Phoenix, Matt Ishbia, who obviously took over the team for Robert Sarver, bought that team, wanted to win now, as all owners do, but did it, quote unquote, the easy way. Let's just go get this disgruntled star player. Let's bring them all in. Let's see if it works. Oh, Frank Vogel, he's won a championship. Sure, he can figure it out. It doesn't matter if this is the players that he wants, but come on. And then what happened? Swept against a young, hungry, and determined Minnesota Timberwolves squad. Anthony Edwards, I told you guys about this kid. I'm going to keep telling you about him. He is the future, and he might be the present face of the NBA when it's all said and done after this postseason, if he is indeed hoisting the trophy. The Larry O'Brien could be his, and the Finals MVP could be his. Now, it's one round, and we'll wait and see what happens. Their head coach just got taken out, torn patellar tendon. Oh, Chris Finch. Finchy! And did I see someone tweeting about Chris Finch going to the locker room because he tore a tendon in his knee? Did I really see a certain someone calling out the head coach for not being on the sideline? Yeah, I did. At Money23Green. You can guess who that is. This is Draymond. 9:15 p.m. Quote, "You got to stay in the game, coach. It's 1:40 left." Minute 40. Wish him well, though. I know this isn't Draymond Green who's calling out a coach for not showing up for the last minute 40 when Draymond Green didn't show up for how many games this year? How many?
Not 5, not 6, not 7.
Come on, man. Put the phone down. Good Lord. First of all, the coach got seriously injured. His leg's all beat up. He's probably going to have to walk with a walking boot on the sideline now. I don't even know. If it's a knee, don't they have to have those weird extender thing, braces on his arm? I don't even know. Air cast, is that what you call them? So he's already going to be compromised. He's going to be in tremendous amount of pain, I'm sure, because that can't feel good, tearing a ligament in your knee. But yeah, let's get on him because he missed the last minute and 40 seconds of a game in which they won. What are we doing? Trey. Hashtag new media, though. Am I right? All right. Moving on. That tweet last night. Good God. It's just read the room, man. He can't do it, though. He can't help himself, people. He can't help himself. What the Suns going to do this offseason? You want Kevin Durant, Warriors fans? Do you want to go get him? Is that going to be the cure-all for what's going on right now? Does Kevin Durant want to come play with that guy, by the way? I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Maybe, though. If he's looking at his NBA mortality in a lens and thinks he can get one more shot at it, he'll put his feelings aside because, hey, me and Dre are fine. We're cool. You guys can do every podcast in the world together. I'm not going to believe that for a second. No. Not the way things ended. Not the way Draymond and a lot of fans treated Kevin Durant on the way out. Guy won 2 Finals MVPs and 2 NBA championships here, but whatever. It wasn't fun. That was something I saw over the weekend too, by the way. The Kevin Durant years weren't fun. It wasn't Warriors basketball. Shut up. God. Talk about being ungrateful as a franchise. Not celebrating one of the greatest players in the history of the sport and your team and the best player on said team during that run. Best player in the world. Taking out the likes of LeBron James and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. Hitting the dagger after dagger after dagger. Might have been the greatest team in the history of the NBA. I say one of. There's 3 different teams for me. That team, the Shaq and Kobe Lakers of 2000. And then or is it 01? I always forget which one it was. Where they lost 1 game. And then it's the Jordan Bulls. 72 and 10. That is what we're talking about here. And you don't want a chance to, bring Kevin Durant back. I know he's not the same guy. I know he's had injuries. But Warriors basketball. Back when it was fun. Are we having fun now? I don't think so. But there could be some fun storylines this summer if some of these quote-unquote super teams get bounced. Bucks, they're about to go bye-bye. Dame Lillard, he's hurt. He's going to be out for a while. So you're relying on the likes of a Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez to lead you? That's not happening. So what's going to happen with Giannis and Dame? Are they just going to run it back and say, you know what? We were injured. Let's try this again. Lakers, still alive. Staved off eliminations. No, less swept this year. Yeah, I was seeing that. Hashtags trending. Less swept. Not this year. Jamal Murray, though. Calf strain? Dangerous. That's dangerous. If you're a team like Minnesota and you see that, he hasn't been playing well as it is, but Jamal Murray, when push comes to shove, and we saw that 1/4 quarter that really determined the series thus far in game 2, when he just was a madman possessed. Him and LeBron hitting shot after shot after shot like Lil Jon. It was incredible. But outside of that fourth quarter, he really hasn't been all that great in this first round. So potentially no Jamal Murray tonight as the Denver Nuggets try to wrap things up at home in 5 games. And if they don't do that, then it is back to LA. And then you got to be a little concerned if you're the Denver Nuggets. Anytime you're up 3-0 and you have to go back to the opposing arena, you don't want to do that. You do not want to do that, especially with the likes of a guy like LeBron James. And Anthony Davis, who, by the way, I know gets a lot of flack. We call him Mr. Glass. We make fun of him. He's been the best player in this first-round series. Not Joker, not LeBron, not Jamal. It's been Anthony Davis. He's been incredible. And what happens with him if they get bounced? See, that's a name I would be interested in if I'm the Golden State Warriors. What's going on with Anthony Davis? Are the Lakers looking to blow it up? They're never looking to blow it up. They're always looking for the next best thing, next big thing. Check out one thing. So we'll see what happens in regards to the Lakers, in regards to the Suns, in regards to the Bucks, because it matters a lot for the Golden State Warriors this summer on what realistically they can do and who they can shop for, quote unquote. We had Bobby Marks on our station a couple weeks ago, obviously, former GM with the Brooklyn Nets, the capologist for ESPN. He knows all the things, all the contracts, everything. If you're going to do a move like that, a big move, no more Klay Thompson, no more Andrew Wiggins, and potentially no more Jonathan Kuminga. Oh, and Chris Paul's probably gone too. It's a lot of depth right there. And you're seeing it right now in this first round. I think Bonte had the tweet of the night. Out with the old, in with the new. That's perfect summarization of what is taking place in the NBA right now. It is a young man's game. Talked about it all last week, talked about the week prior, and we're going to be talking about it all freaking summer. Because whether it's the Minnesota Timberwolves hoisting the trophy, whether it's the Boston Celtics, whether it's the Denver Nuggets again, hell, whether it's the Oklahoma City Thunder, maybe they just keep rolling over everyone and they don't know any better and they win the whole damn thing. It is a young man's game now, more so than ever before. And you cannot get a collection of old guys together and think you're going to compete with them. Not when they're making that much money. No chance. Like the notion of LeBron coming to the Warriors is great. In a vacuum, LeBron just put him on the Warriors right now? Yes. Give me that. But how much money is that guy going to command? He has like a $50 million option, which he'll probably opt into, or he'll get a new deal and it'll be another 1-and-1 deal where he can opt into it in the next year if he wants to. Like, that's what we're talking about here. Getting a LeBron, but then saying goodbye, saying bye-bye to all your depth.
Draymond, go bye-bye.
Draymond probably loved to play with LeBron. We all know that. First person he hugged last year after the Warriors got eliminated against the Lakers. Big bro hug. Good morning to all of you on the Xfinity mobile text line, 888-957-9570. 415, Katie already plotting to join Minnesota. Oh, come on.
Minnesota!
Was it Correspondence Dinner this past weekend? I think it was. We haven't done that in a while, in a minute, it feels like. Colin Jost roasting the president. I love a good roast. Apparently, who's the next big... Is Tom Brady going to be roasted, right? That's the next one on Netflix. I'm interested in that. You know who I miss, who would be perfect for something like this? R.I.P., who loved his sports. And obviously had one of the great ESPY Award speeches and monologues of all time is Norm Macdonald. He'd been perfect. Brady getting roasted. Is he going to be an owner? Or what? What's going on with that? I think they're voting on it again next month. We'll see. Tom Brady. Raiders owner. Should be the Raiders quarterback. Brock Bowers. Michael Mayer. Jacoby Myers. Devontae Adams. They're saying it's Gronk and Hernandez 2.0, although anytime I hear that, I just get a little... On the field, people. On the field. Let's relax. Good morning to all of you on YouTube and Twitch, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. What did you do this past weekend? You have a good weekend, everyone? Whether you're in Florida like my girl Nicole Diaz, whether you're like my guy Vic and out in the Netherlands, whether in Australia, Argentina, España, anywhere you guys are at. Do you feel summer approaching? I'm so damn happy summer's coming too. I need a vacation or something. This is usually vacation time, by the way. Post NFL draft, NBA playoffs are happening. Some people wait till after the NBA playoffs, right? We're going to start seeing that here. A lot of people are going to be going on vacation. But there is so much happening in regards to sports in the Bay Area right now. This is such a good time to be a part of it. Giants are interesting. Again, series win against the Mets, series win against the Pirates. Now, two teams have a lot of young talent that are not easy to beat. And Giants could have easily lost yesterday's game. They didn't. Easily could have lost Friday's game. They did not. They showed a lot of grit, determination. And for a young team that's trying to, build some character here, yeah, those are character building wins for the San Francisco Giants. And this guy Keaton Wynn and this guy Jordan Hicks, are you kidding me? The production you're getting out of those two alone, specifically Jordan Hicks. The guy's 2-0 this year, started 6 games, 34 innings pitched, 27 Ks, .91 whip. It's been unbelievable. It's the signing of the year thus far. And I keep waiting for the wheels to come off, and it's April. Again, the way we discuss baseball is not like how we discuss football. It's not like how we discuss basketball, which is half of what baseball season is. Those games feel so much more important for narratives each and every day. Obviously, the NFL, there's just 17 of those games. It's going to be 18, I think, soon. Wait till you hear what Roger Goodell had to say. I think it was on with Pat McAfee in regards to the schedule, potentially altering that and making it the Super Bowl Sunday on President's Day weekend so that people would have their Monday off. Now, we wouldn't get the Monday off, but that's the day you want to be on the radio. That's the day the Sam Loveman's, Joe Spadoni's, Joe Shasky's, Bonta Hills live for. The day after the Super Bowl. We're going to be talking about what's going on. And hopefully, your local team is in it, like the 49ers just were. But can you imagine that? President's Day weekend? Crazy. But I'm not trying to overreact to what the Giants are doing so far. I'm not trying to. I'm just pleasantly surprised in Jordan Hicks. Now we'll wait and see. Again, this guy is a bullpen arm transferring over to full-time starter. It usually doesn't work out well. At some point, the arm's going to get a little sore. This is probably going to be the most innings he's ever pitched in a given season. Hopefully, knock on wood. And we got to see what it looks like in August, in September. And hopefully, you'll have some arms to help back you up then. Alex Cobb, wait and see. He's on the IL right now. Robbie Ray, we'll wait and see there. Again, what we saw with Cobb, not like he was rushing back, but he's an older player. Serious injury. Now, Robbie Ray's a little bit younger, but he's coming off major surgery too. We'll wait and see what happens there. But Jordan Hicks has been the signing of the year for the Giants thus far, and Keaton Wynn, he's been the pleasant surprise of the year. 3-3, 3.18 ERA. He's pitched 34 innings, 28 strikeouts, .97 whip. Anytime you have an under one, a sub one whip, that's what you want. That's what you're looking for. Walks, hits, per inning pitched. There you go. You'll learn something new every day. 888-957-9570 is the number. 574 on the Xfinity Mobile text line. Mare Island shut down several blocks yesterday and had a free concert series with 6 different stages. It was super cool. That does sound cool. I feel like we did something for Mare Island here in the past. Maybe Guru was a part of it. That does sound fun, though. That's over near Six Flags, right? Mare Island. Out in Vallejo, Valley Joe. Let's go. Not mad at that. Not surprisingly. I'm not a big concert goer, like festival guy. It's just, it's not my scene, personally. But you know what? I'm not mad at that. If it's like a casual, like you're downtown, you're walking around, there's just like a little like band, something like that, that's fine. That's more my speed, just some live music. Not mad at that. Full-on concerts, though, too many people. Especially if it's Vallejo, is it hot? I feel like Larry David when I talk about this sort of stuff. And I'm only 30 years old. And it's like, Joe, why do you sound like you're 75? You don't want to be around a bunch of young people just having fun? No. I may be young, but I'm also a father of 2 people, right? I'm just exhausted on the weekends. It's just, it used to be the time to recharge and retool. And to an extent, because I get up so early, by virtue of just waking up at 3:30 Monday through Friday, sleeping in for me on the weekend could be like 6 o'clock. I usually wake up at 6:30, something like that, which is fine. I don't mind that. I turn into the morning guy, the morning dad, let the missus sleep in a little bit. I'm not mad at that. But by the time it's like 5 or 6 and the kids aren't doing their naps anymore, you start feeling it a little bit. You get a little bit loopy. It's like, all right, dad needs some 30 minutes by himself, chilling, watching the latest One Piece episode. Yes, I'm a nerd. Shout out anime. Love it. Shout out anime, by the way. Shout out the Discovery Museum out in San Jose. Very fun. Took the little kids over there this weekend. It was the wife's idea. Awesome time we had there down in San Jose, the Discovery Museum. Cannot say more positive things about what we did there. They had a cool fire truck that you can dress up as for the kids. You can go on this, old horse and buggy carriage. It was like a Wells Fargo carriage, circa like 1850. Really cool there. They got a garden outside. They got water toys you can play with on the inside. Really cool stuff. Discovery Museum. If you have any kids or if you just want to check it out. Very cool. Actually, no. Probably don't go there if you're an adult. It's not like the Tech Museum. Actually, yeah, don't do that. Bring kids. All right? I'll say that right now. Bring the kiddos, or else you'll look like a creep. But very fun time there. They had a little fair going on at the outside, a little booth. Maybe it was a farmer's market, if you will. But very cool Discovery Museum. I think it's been there for a minute, but my first time ever visiting with the kids. So 888-957-9570. We'll continue to discuss what went on in your weekend, what went on in the sports weekend here in the Bay Area. NFL draft is over. Giants pick up another series win. And do you want to take another swing at Kevin Durant? Suns are out. Maybe a reunion? We'll talk about it next. 888-957-9570. Pregame show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
Mother's Day is Sunday, May 12th. Visit Shane Company for a timeless gift that will remind mom of your love.
Oh, this is the ghost of Trey Lance.
Is that like the ghost of Christmas past? Christmas future, Christmas present? Oh, welcome back. Pregame show, Joe Spadoni. One segment down, two more to go. We've been talking NFL draft. We've been talking NBA playoffs. We've been talking about the Giants series win, back-to-back series wins for the Giants. Still no sweep yet for the Giants. I think they're one of like 8 teams not to have swept an opposing team. Yeah, the A's have even done it. Crazy. A's, by the way, come on. Let's go. Yeah, it's a series win over the Baltimore. Wait, the Baltimore who? Get out of here. Mason Miller putting the league on notice yet again. Craig Kimbrell, by the way, shot.
Orioles fans just gotta be devastated today.
Oh. Celebrate good times, A's fans. There you go. Every time we get a win, coming in the next day, I do it. That's just my thing. We do that. But they took a split against the New York Yankees, very good team, and a series against the Orioles, both on the road. I'm not going to snuff at that. Like, I'm not. That's impressive. And the A's are going to win games this year because of their bullpen. That bullpen is legit. Urseg and Miller is a filthy 8-9 1-2 punch. Filthy. And Mason Miller, again, I said this in week 2 on the morning roast with Lubman and Joe Shasky and Monte Hill, and they scoffed at me. It's all right. I said Mason Miller. Actually, Bonte didn't scoff. But Mason Miller has the best stuff in the league right now. Guy's throwing 103 with movement towards your dome, and you're swinging at it. It's just, gross in all the best way possible. So, A's, they get the series win, and they're taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates today in Oakland. So the Pirates staying here in the Bay. They're docked, if you will, the Jolly Roger. And Oreo Cookie is docked out in Oakland and wants to join in the conversation. Wants to talk NFL draft. What's going on, Oreo? How was your weekend, man?
Hey, good morning, man. My weekend was good, nice and lazy. Can't hate on that. But good looking out for you, giving love to the A's, man. That Mason guy, dude, he's nasty, bro. I had to pick him up on my team.
Sick. 3 saves this week. 3 saves this week for fantasy. Huge.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, striking everybody out, man. I love it. But talking to NFL draft, it's kind of interesting to me how we kind of changed our philosophy had we been going on throughout the years. We've always gone defensive linemen, and I don't think we picked any defensive linemen. I like the positions that we did address, wide receivers, secondary, offensive line. But, I mean, nobody knows anything, right? This is all a crapshoot. And Ricky, for the first round, I hope he turns out good. All we can hope for is that he's pretty fly for a white guy.
Thank you, Oreo Cookie, out in Oakland. Yeah, we'll see. Ricky Pearsall, first-round pick, 31st overall pick in this past first round by the San Francisco 49ers. And John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan spoke to the media this past weekend. We can hear from Pearsall himself. And by the way, real quick before we get to that sound, Oreo Cookie was something that's actually kind of crazy. The 49ers didn't draft a defensive lineman. They obviously invested a lot of money into this defensive line via free agency, whether it was Javon Hargrave, whether it's now Leonard Floyd, Yetur Gross-Matos. So they got some depth there already. They got Drake Jackson. What's he going to do again? He's been disappointing coming out of USC. You moved on from Kinlaw. You still got Bosa there. No more Eric Armstead. What's it going to be this next season? No Steve Wilkes anymore. He gone. He gone. Nick Sorensen, step up. It's his time. Don't wear the visor, though. I think he's a visor guy. Something about that visor. Me and Brad Gilbert, I don't know who it bothers more from an NFL coach. Specifically a head coach. I think Dougie P rocks it. Not my vibe. Ricky Pearsall talking to the media on how nerve-wracking his draft experience truly was.
I think this was probably the most stressful part about the whole entire process. I did a really good job of channeling in my own, being where my feet are at for the combine and the Senior Bowl, because that's all stuff I can control at the end of the day. So it's me performing out there, but this is out of my control. So I had a little bit of nerves leading up, but, I was just trying to enjoy the moment, be where my feet are at, be with my family, all my close friends, and just, enjoy the moment because, those people around me played a huge role in my life. So, I give all the thanks to them. We're just enjoying it together.
Ricky, you played at Arizona State. You played with Brandon Ayuk. How's your relationship with him?
We have a really good relationship. Actually, I just got off the phone with him before I got over here on this Zoom call. And he was just congratulating me, man, and just, getting on the call and telling me over and over again, you're a first rounder, man. Like, soak it up. You deserve it. All the work that I put in, because there's been a lot of work put in since the last that we ran routes together. So, I feel like I'm a totally different player since the last time we seen each other, and he's seen it, from afar over when he was watching me at Florida, and, I was watching out the Niners. So, it'll be really good to team back up with him and get active.
Get active. Again, no Brandon Ayuk trade, no Deebo Samuel trade. They are still San Francisco 49ers. Now you add Ricky Pearsall, got Christian McCaffrey already, you got George Kittle. Lot to feel good about right now. Oh yeah, and Brock Purdy. He's buff. Buff Brock. Let's go. None of that SpongeBob laugh, Brock Purdy. Come on. It's buff Brock. He's back, baby. Ricky, what separates you from other wide receivers?
Just being a receiver, you got to be really good at getting open and catching the ball. And those are the two most important things. I think I do a very good job. I think I'm elite at both of those things, first and foremost. The things that separate me, I feel like, is my competitive spirit and, how I compete on a day in, day out basis, and just how detailed I am as a receiver too as well. When it comes to being disciplined in my routes or even just off the field, being disciplined in my everyday habits. So I feel like that separates me.
Ricky, so you were teammates with Brandon Ayuk, but you also played against Brock Purdy in high school.
We played each other. I think he put 70 on my team. So, he's a hell of a player. I remember him for sure because he was in the end zone a lot and threw a lot of touchdowns. So I'm excited to play with him this time. That's
pretty cool. Going from playing against him in high school to being your teammate. He's going to be throwing you touchdown passes. That's freaking awesome. It is. 888-957-9570. How you feeling about the 49ers draft class? It is over. The NFL draft has concluded. No defensive linemen. Shocker. Did they address the spots that you were worried about, 49er fans? 888-957-9570. John Lynch on evaluating prospects who can help now versus down the road.
I think this class is representative of it. I don't know a player. I think all these guys can contribute this year. So you try to do both. You try to say, hey, does this guy have starter in him in some time? Is there some development that he can someday be a starter? But right away, can he help? Special teams is often the avenue. I think back to my career. I didn't start till year 3, but I think I was a good member of the team because I contributed in special teams for the first couple years and played some defense. So that's really integral. And so it's that thought process. And, I like this class because of just that. I think all these guys, it's tough. It's a really good roster. So it's going to be tough to crack for these guys. We do believe that they have the skill sets, the mentalities, the makeup that they can come in and find a way if it's on them now. But, they can come in and compete right away. And then we do believe that with the development, which is part of what we do as well, consistently developing guys so that we get the most out of them and into the future as well.
888-957-9570. We will react to more of what John Lynch had to say, more of what Kyle Shanahan had to say, and what Matt Miller had to say in regards to Mel Kiper. I thought this was very interesting over the weekend. Matt Miller, obviously former of Bleacher Report, now does work with ESPN in regards to the NFL draft, the prospects, all that. He had some interesting thoughts on where Mel Kiper should end up one day, and it might be with a gold jacket. We'll discuss that on the other side on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
2 legals there? That's all right. Can never be too prepared, right? That's what they say. Too prepared. Good morning to all you lovely people just getting off work, getting ready for school, getting ready to do whichever you got to do on this lovely Monday here in the Bay Area. NFL draft has concluded. We're talking not draft grades. We're not doing that. No. Talking about your favorite picks, what you liked, what you didn't like. Did they address your concerns? Well, they got a wide receiver. I don't know if that was a top concern, considering you still have Brandon Ayuk, you still have Deebo Samuel. Now, we didn't know they were staying on this team. Last week, there was a lot of reports, a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation in Rappaport NFL Network. They're looking for the best offer. But when that offer didn't come, and when teams like Jacksonville were drafting Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU, teams like that were quote-unquote linked, Pittsburgh Steelers, when all those teams started just selecting their players and just staying to their board, Niners were kind of out of, not luck, but they were just out of out of time to trade these guys. And they weren't going to get what they wanted. They didn't want a second round pick. They didn't want a third round pick. I do not know what they wanted for Deebo Samuel, but if it was a first rounder, kick rocks if I'm another team. That wasn't happening. So you got Ayuk, you got Deebo, you got Pearsall now, you got Kittle, and you got McCaffrey. This should still be, oh, and by the way, so I got Brock Purdy. This should be still one of the best offenses in the NFL. Definitely top 5. Can Brock take another leap? I don't even know what that looks like, by the way. Brock was an MVP candidate last year. I don't know how, those improvements look for him. Maybe it's just being more comfortable with audibling. Maybe it's more just pocket presence, but the pocket presence is great as it is. The poise is great as it is. I don't even know what that next leap looks like for him. Because right now, he's already one of the best in the league when he is at his best. John Lynch, talking to the media this past weekend on the amount of experience these college players that they drafted have.
We just went with the players that we really liked and appreciated. One thing I used on some of the earlier players, consensus. This, it was a big draft where if every avenue of our organization can get behind someone, we felt really good about these guys. Really good football players. Starting with Malik today, just love the way he plays the game, plays our style. We talk a lot about running to the football and getting there with bad intentions. And Malik kind of embodies that. One of my favorite interviews at the Combine, really handles himself well, but on the field, plays the right way. Right on down the line, Garindo, Cowing, onto the Kingston and Bethune at the end. Players that we really had a great feel for and liked them, and we made them Niners.
So he's saying Malik Mustafa, M-A-L-I-K. He's the general manager, so I should defer to him. Every time I've seen that spelling, it's Malik, but you know what? I'll defer to John Lynch. He knows what he's talking about. All right. Well, we got another running back. I got the pronunciation right. Isaac Guerendo, running back out of Louisville. Kyle Shanahan, what do you like about him?
I love his speed. Yeah, we think he's got a lot of speed. All our backs can run, but it's nice to add one who possibly can run a little bit faster, just for the change of pace and things like that. Like his running style. His running style, I think, is similar to Elijah's and the style that he runs with, and he's built that way, and like the 40 that he has.
Kyle, was the plan to add more speed to the offense?
No, we didn't make a blanket statement like that, but it was we wanted to add some speed to the running back room if we could. But you don't just add that just to add it. It's got to be the right type of runner with the speed. And there's a couple guys in the back and in the draft who had that, and this is the one we really liked in that way.
Kyle, what do you like about Jacob Cowing, wide receiver out of Arizona, who you drafted in the 4th round?
Very similar to what we got when Ricky, and that there's not a route that he can't run. Starts outside the numbers, and he's got the speed to get on top of people and threaten with a go. He's got the quickness. Inside, he'd be a big problem with just how shifty he is. He can run screens and things like that. Very good punt returner. For his lack of size, he makes up with mentality. His mindset, when he does cut, he's always accelerating out of a cut. He's trying to violently go through people, and when you're fat, when you're smaller, you hope they're faster and quicker, which he is. And anything that you want to knock on a smaller guy, he makes up for in his mindset.
We heard from John Lynch talking about the helping now versus down the road, right? We heard from John Lynch. Here's what Kyle Shanahan had to say about evaluating prospects who can help now versus the future.
I'd always say I wish it was the other way around. But like last year, you're done with free agency and stuff, and you go in the draft, and it's like, where do you need a starter? And yeah, you always want the best starter possible, but where do you have to get a starter? And you go into last year's draft, and to me, it was one position. It was kicker. And so, yeah, there's some starter positions you can't find a better guy, and there's a lot better, but they're all still guys you feel you can win with as starters. And you go into a draft, and you're like, all right, well, we don't have a kicker, so we got to find a starting kicker somewhere. What else do we want to do? Well, we'd like to get better in this area, and that area, but where is that guy when that draft comes? And if that's not available, then you get a guy to beat someone else out. You get a guy because, hey, this guy might be up on a contract next year, and this guy could be a backup in case of injury, and we can plan for the future, or is this just the best player available? And that's why there's so many different layers to all of this, and wish the draft came first. You can always just sit there and take the best player that came, and then you could go into free agency and try to figure out, like, all right, where can we go fill these holes? But it goes the other way, and that's why it's a bigger window than just right now.
888-957-9570, talking 49ers NFL draft. I'm not this guy, hashtag squirrel. I'm not usually distracted by what I see on the TV screen. Will Tom Brady play for the Raiders this season? No, he will not. Come on. Guy's about to be part owner of the team, and he's going to call games for Fox. Stop it. I'd love it. The radio host in me would love it. Just talking about it. It's not happening. All right, back to reality here for a second. And the reality is, this 49ers team, after this NFL draft weekend, nothing changed in their hierarchy in the NFC. They're the team to beat. They're the team to beat. It's not the Detroit Lions, who, by the way, had the city of Detroit, talking about winners and losers of the draft, the biggest winner is the city of Detroit. Just absolute great showcase for that great city who has been at the end of a lot of jokes, the butt of a lot of jokes in regards to that town, that as a sports town, the Lions being a joke of a franchise for damn near my entire life, your entire life, I'm sure. And to see them and to have, almost 750,000 people in total that went out to that NFL draft, that's great for that city, that fan base. It's freaking awesome. The Lions are coming. They are number 2 to the 49ers, I believe. Not the Eagles. I think it's the Lions. Although the Eagles, Howie Roseman, that SOB, that guy, I swear to God, he gets these players to fall in his lap every single year. Quinyon Mitchell is falling right to his lap. Might be the best corner in the draft. Cooper DeJean, don't call him Dijon Mustard, is falling right to him in the second round. It's just, he finds a way to get it done. And by the way, he gets a legacy pick, and Jeremiah Trotter Jr., obviously his father used to play for Philly, he might be a stud too out of Clemson. He might be a steal of the draft. So the rich get richer, but I shouldn't say that because there were some key departures for the Eagles. And it's not like the Eagles defense was that great last year. I mean, once the 49ers snatched their souls and Deebo Samuel himself snatched the soul of Philadelphia, that team was over. Like Shang Tsung versus Liu Kang. Night. That's what it was. So they needed to address that secondary in the worst way possible. And they did that. Now they have to rely on the likes of Jordan Davis. My guy, God, why can't I think of his name last year? Top overall pick, or he should have been the first overall pick. Can't think of it right now. 888-957-9570. Hashtag brain fart. But they're expecting big jumps from their second year guys that they drafted last year out in Philadelphia. Offensive lineman rookie 2023. Jalen Carter. God, it's a Monday. All right, get off my back. Speaking of Mondays, in draft reaction, and this is the time we all go look to Mel Kiper, right? What did he give my team a grade for? What's my grade? What's my grade? And they have this big thing and showcase on ESPN now. What are the grades? A live reaction. He gives out his grades for all the teams. Again, grades are dumb. You can't really grade a team. If you want to go in terms of value, sure, whatever. But Mel Kiper has built an industry on this. And Matt Miller, formerly of Bleacher Report, now at ESPN, joined the draft coverage over the weekend and was on set with Mel Kiper, and this is what he had to say about his friend and mentor.
And I didn't run this by Mel, but I'm going to just say this because I think we all agree this man should be in the NFL Hall of Fame. No. Because this event does not happen without Mel Kiper Jr. Amen. It doesn't. I'm not sitting here without Mel Kiper Jr., somebody who I watched since I was 7 years old and wanted to be like, and now I get to share a stage with him. So this man needs to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. And he won't ever advocate, he won't ever politics for that, but I will absolutely do it.
To me, that's reserved for those special athletes that played, that did what they do. And then bottom line is, Matt, I appreciate it because you do an amazing job. Field, all you guys, Todd, everybody from the Daniel, everybody's come along. Millions of people are following this draft.
And that's because of Mel Kiper. Like, if we're talking about contributors to the game and to the sport and making the draft what it was and how much change, like, that's the thing, too. How much money the NFL has generated off of this? Hell yeah, on Mel Kiper. Yeah. At least you could do is give me a gold jacket. How much money I'm putting in your guys' pockets? That's an interesting question, though, as a contributor. Being a draft expert, quote unquote, having never really served in a NFL front office before, he was going to be Ernie Accorsi's, not assistant GM, but assistant when he was out with the Baltimore Colts and being their general manager way back when. Obviously, the Baltimore Colts, what happened there, all the moves, all that sort of stuff, Indianapolis, what have you. But that's an interesting question. For his contributions to the sport and to the NFL draft in particular, should Mel Kiper be a Hall of Famer? I'm going to say yes. I wonder what Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky think about that. Maybe they'll give their thoughts next on the Morning Roast, 95.7 The Game. Brian Baldinger, 7:30 for an hour, breaking down the NFL draft. Don't want to miss it.
Hey, it's Willard for La Garza Summer Camps. No time for boredom this summer. Got to get them going. La Garza's the way to do it.